Morning guys, for those of you who've got the new orbital wash heads, if you find that one of them stops spinning, we are keeping now a spare head here at head office that we can send out to you while you send yours here for repair. But if you want to have a go at repairing it yourself, we're going to show you now what we'll do, stripping it down and removing the cogs. So first of all, you'll notice we've got the head upside down in a lathe. Vice even. So over to you, Sid.
Right, so it's this ring of screws here we need off. So these aren't very tight. I've got my little machine turned right down. The most important thing on this is cleanliness, because it's full of little cogs and you don't want to get any dirt in there. So I recommend getting yourself a nice little tub to put your bits in and something clean to put your parts on. So after you've got that, this is where your filter sits. Put all them nice and neatly. This is what they call the injector disc. It's just got 3 little nozzles pointed at an angle, which directs the water onto this turbine, and that's what makes the whole world go round. So what you'd probably find is, if it's seized up, this turbine won't spin. And this is what we want. So if you put all your bits together nicely, so the next thing you can do is this next little piece comes off, and that's your turbine wheel, which drives this cog, which in turn drives this little set of planet gears here. And what I've seen in the past is a bit of metal, a bit of shit gets through that turbine wheel and it gets in between these cogs and this outside race. So if you get your finger in here, these should move freely, and if yours is seized, yours probably won't. And hopefully you'll be able to see what it is. It's normally a bit of fluff, snot, bit of metal, or something's gotten in there to get between these teeth and the outer wall. But these are not fixed in by anything in particular, so you can lift each of these little set of planets out, and you want to inspect them, make sure they're nice and clean, there's no bits of shit on them. I'd recommend cleaning them under a tap and with a little soft brush or something if they're dirty, but this is really clean because it's our demo one. And there's a couple of sets of these, so hopefully by the time you've taken out that first set, it'll be in the first set, because that's the first thing you're going to come across. But if it's got a little bit further down, it might be down here, but at each stage, these cogs should be able to turn. Ooh, it's a bit stiffer down here because it's all geared up, not directly on the head here, but so that's the stiffest one by hand, but you should just lift out. And that one there's got a drive pin on it, which, as you can see in there, drives that little shaft inside there, which is on the actual head itself. So hopefully in here you'll find something which you can clean. So what I often do is get something small like a scriber or a pin or something or other, and just gently just go up each one of these. It's a pain in the bum, but if you do that, if there's anything in there, hopefully you'll fetch it out and just get more of a good scrape out, go around, but hopefully whatever's in there you would have seen, and you'll fetch it out and hopefully it wouldn't have caused any damage. And then what you really want to be doing after that is, hopefully you've got the bit of shit out, this moves again, and it's just a matter of reassembly. All these gears here do need a little bit of lubrication on them, so if you've pulled them out, you might as well give them a good clean with a little brush and some watery stuff and or brake cleaner or something like that, and stick them back together again. And you want to use a bit of rubbery Teflon based grease. Alfords do this stuff called bike grease. It's less than a tenner for a tube and it'll last you forever. And so what you'll be doing is, if you've got all this immaculately clean, a little smidgen of this stuff on here, on the little shaft, put your gear back on. It doesn't need loads and loads, just something, and then a little bit on the cogs itself. As you go around, just a bit of something on there roughly, you don't need loads and loads. you can put too much on, and you need to gently, it's a bit fiddly, you want to just get these to line up again. It should just slide down. Once you get it to there, it hasn't located in that drive thing yet, so just turn it with your finger until it slots in place and actually wants it in. And just make sure it's still sort of free. Happy days. And repeat with the next set and the next set. It doesn't matter which way around they go, apart from that bottom one of course with the driving, because these ones have just got gears on it. And the next set in. It's a bit of a fiddle, don't panic if the doesn't go all the way down, so that hasn't located yet, so just give it a little turn and it should, there you go, find its way in. And your final set. As I say, drop the grease around all these cogs as you put them back together again. These all have been done already. And drop it in. And we've got it. Just got to get all three of these teeth all lined up in exactly the right place, and there you go. And hopefully, as long as you can get a good 360 degrees on there and it's all going, hopefully that'll be a problem solved. And then, so, you got your gears back in. It's a good idea, there's a rubber seal around here. If you've got some of that rubber grease, it's a good idea just to put a drop of that rubber grease on this seal, just so it goes back together easily and it doesn't pinch on that rubber and damage the seal. And when you're putting this in, I recommend, just so you get it in the right place, put a couple of bolts in. Oh, the cog hasn't found its place, so you just wiggle that a bit until it locates, and then give that a good little push down, make sure these bolts turn. And that's that a bit. Next of all, your injector disc. Remembering the writings on the top of it, you can't go too wrong. It sits nicely in the middle there. And then drop your filter on. You can take your filtery bit off beforehand, but I'm just being lazy. And then this bit here, again, there's a rubber seal around here. It's a good idea just to put a drop of rubber grease around it and it just stops it pinching the seal and damaging it. And then drop a couple of bolts in, so you can be fairly happy. It's all going to go back together nice and square, and there you go. And all these bolts will be really clean. Make sure the threads are clean, there's no grit crap on them, because you don't want them binding up before they go in. And because I've got fancy pants power tools, just going to nip them down just ever so gently. Gently on the first run. Any time just on them at all yet. Just get them all down. And then you want to be feeling for stickiness and nastiness in them threads as well. These do need torquing down. And the little booklet you get with these heads, it does say 9 to 10 Newton meters of force. So if you got a torque wrench, oops, like I have here, it's set to 10, look, and then you want to do these diametrically, which means go opposite each other. So what I'm going to do them about halfway, or 7.5 or something like that, on the first go, just to make sure they're all going down nicely. So just try to go sort of opposite yourself each time if you can. It's not the end of the world, but it's just the engineering way of doing things. Just missed a set. That's a set missed. So they've all had about 7 or 8 Newton meters, and now go around again, get them up to 10. There's your little gauge here, Danny Babes. That's just going up to about 10 there. Next one, you see I'm going from like sort of 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. To opposite myself to 3 o'clock again. And then the opposite sort of side. To 10. 10, and then the other one should be this here. Up to 10. And I was for peace of mind is when I think I've done the last one, I just go round them all again and just make sure they are all there, and then you know for sure you haven't missed one. 10. 10. And in theory, once you put all these bolts back in and torqued them up, you would have got rid of a bit of whatever it was blocking your cogs up. Stick it back on your machine and that should be it. It should work again. If you don't find any muck in there and you still can't get them to rotate after you stuck it back together again, send it to us.